So once again, welcome you all to today's session. I hope you have been doing well during summer break, and I also wish you all are safe staying at your home. So let us begin with today's session. Today we are going to discuss in business studies about unit 6, that is staffing, and this is second part of this video, this presentation. I am Takeshi Bharadwaj, PGT Commerce, KVSCCL Dhanpuri. First of all, let us have a quick look on concept map. We have already discussed first 3 units. You can see the videos on channel, and I strongly recommend that please watch all the videos in sequence. After that, we discussed about planning as the first step of process of management. We have already discussed about organizing, and after organizing, we were discussing about staffing. In staffing, we have the following things to discuss. These are the learning objectives of staffing chapter. We have already covered understand the concept and importance of staffing. Staffing as a part of human resource management. Staffing in the process, steps in the process of staffing, meaning of recruitment, sources of recruitment, internal as well as external, with their respective merits and demerits. In today's session, we will be discussing about selection, its process, all the steps in the selection process. Then we will discuss about concept of training and development, importance of training for employees as well as for the organization. And finally, we will discuss about training versus development. So let us begin with staffing. In staffing, according to Narayan Murthy, former CEO of Infosys, our assets walk out the door each evening. We have to make sure that they come back by the next morning. So it shows the importance of staffing for any organization. The foundation of any organization is the talented and hardworking people who are the principal assets of firm. We know nowadays we call human resource, means human beings are not merely the workers, not merely the labor, rather they are the assets for the firm. Staffing is that part of the process of management which is concerned with obtaining, utilizing and maintaining a satisfactory and satisfied workforce. Dear students, in organizing, we have already discussed about this, that how a structure is made in the organization so that the task, the objectives of the organization may be achieved in an efficient and successful manner. So in staffing, what we do is we appoint people on the post we developed in organizing. Means we fill the vacant post we created during the process of organizing. So staffing is the process of manning the organization. In your school, you must have observed the hierarchy of management. First of all, Mr. Principal or Miss Principal. After that, there are various departments and there are HODs, head of departments of those respective departments, and people working, teachers working in those departments. So this is how we man the organization during the process of staffing. Have a look on the staffing process. Estimating the manpower need, recruitment, which is a positive process, we have already discussed. Selection, this will be our focus today. Placement and orientation, training and development we will be discussing today. Performance appraisal, promotion and career planning, and compensation part. So today we will discuss in detail about selection. Selection process. Selection is a process. Process means anything which is having systematic steps, sequence. So selection begins where recruitment ends. We are already aware recruitment is a positive process in which we first of all identify the prospective source of our employees and we go and motivate them. After that, when they apply in our organization, it's our next step to choose the best workers out of the total applicants. So selection starts where recruitment ends. You can see the diagram. Out of various recruitees, we have to select the best one which is suitable for our organization. So selection is the process of identifying the most suitable candidate. In the staffing process, when we discuss about selection, there are few things to know about selection process. Selection is the process of identifying and choosing the best person out of a number of prospective candidates for a job, those who have applied in our organization. It is a negative process. You will have to remember it can be asked in an objective type question in form of true, false or fill in the blanks. That recruitment is a positive process because we try to increase the number of applicants, and selection is a negative process because at every step of selection process we keep on reducing the number of applicants so that we can get the best one out of total applicants. So selection is a negative process. It ensures that the organization get the best out of the total applicants. It also enhances the self-esteem and prestige of the applicants, those who are selected. They also feel proud that we have been selected out of many applicants. After that, the selection process divides the entire list of candidates in two groups. Dear student, I would like to draw your attention. Please listen to it very carefully. This selection process divides the entire list of applicants in two groups, one who will be offered the job and other who will not be offered the job. Because after completing all the steps of selection, finally a merit list is prepared in which out of the all suitable candidates we have to choose the best. So it is not necessary that after completing all the steps of the selection process you are selected. No. You may be rejected even at the last step, that is merit list. So the selection process divides the entire list of applicants in two groups, one who will be offered the job and one who will not be offered the job. So choosing the best man out of total applicants. You must have seen a game show on TV, Takeshi's Castle. In that, what happens? Initially there are so many applicants. There are so many players at the initial stage. After that, they play various games which are in sequence, and after every step the people keep on reducing, the number of players keep on reducing. Only a few are able to make it to the next level. You must have enjoyed that show. I used to like it very much. And finally, only someone is a winner. Just like this, in selection also, out of many applicants, after completing various steps of the selection process, only a few are lucky, only a few are suitable for the organization who are declared as selected. So what are those steps of the selection process? We will discuss now. Important steps in the process of selection. First is primary screening. We will discuss in detail all these steps in upcoming slides. After that, selection tests. There are 5 types of tests usually which are conducted to choose the workers or the staff. Intelligence test, aptitude test, personality test, trait test and interest test. Those who clear the test, because many of them are rejected at this level, a large number of applicants are rejected at this level. So only those who are selected or clear this step, they are required to appear for employment interview. Many of them may get rejected here also, and after that reference and background checks are done. Then medical examination, job is offered to workers, and finally those who accept the offer, with them the departments, sign a contract of employment having all the terms and conditions of that job or contract. Now let us discuss one by one all the steps in selection process. Dear students, there may be a direct question. We will be discussing what kind of questions are generally asked in CBSE. So there may be a direct question or there may be a case study from this chapter. So first of all, primary screening or preliminary screening is done in selection process. The basic purpose of the primary screening is to filter, to scrutiny only the suitable candidates who must appear for the test. So what I have observed is generally an interview kind of thing is conducted, or a small test is taken, a pen paper test, or the documents are scrutinized whether the candidate is fulfilling all the terms and conditions or qualifications for the job or not. So many of them who are not suitable for the job, they are screened out at the very first stage. Primary screening is a very important task, so that a basic filtering of the candidates is done. Only those who are suitable must appear for the test. After primary screening, the most important step of the selection process is selection test. The selection tests are conducted to check the ability and suitability of the candidate for the organization as well as for the job. So generally, trade test, aptitude test, interest test, personality test and intelligence tests are conducted. There may be a direct question like, what are the 5 types of tests during the selection process? So you must see all the next slides very carefully, and you must try to understand what kind of tests are conducted and why. In the selection process, very first test is trade test. Trade tests are conducted to check the ability of candidate to perform the desired tasks. There may be trades like driving, typing, or many other such things, cooking and all. So the employees are the candidates are put into a test, and we check their dexterity level, manual dexterity level, that they are able to perform it or not. So trade tests are conducted at 2 levels. Number 1, simple trade test. In this, the workers are supposed to perform the task for which they are being recruited or selected. So for example, ड्राइविंग हम किसी को करवा के देखेंगे या टाइपिंग करवा के देखेंगे, तो उसमें ये रहेगा, वो जनरली इज कि ड्राइविंग में माना जाता है कि अगर हम इसको रिक्रूट कर लेंगे और बेसिक ड्राइविंग इसको आती है, तो ही विल बी एक्सपर्ट ड्यूरिंग द कोर्स ऑफ टाइम. सो ही विल बी एक्सपर्ट ऑफ दैट. सो देयर इज नॉट अ कॉम्पिटिशन काइंड ऑफ थिंग. मीन्स ड्राइविंग आती है, यू आर सेलेक्टेड, आपसे बस कार चलवा के देखेंगे या कोई व्हीकल चलवा के देखेंगे. I have been a part of selection process when we were recruiting the driver for the bus in army school. So the next level is manual dexterity. Dexter, आप लोगों ने अगर कार्टून देखा है तो Dexter एक आता था. So Dexter means the person who is efficient is in performing the task. So to check the dexterity level, a competition kind of test is there. So those who are the top rankers, only those candidates will be selected, not everyone. So you can see driving test or typing test kind of, या shorthand जिसको हम बोलते हैं, या letter writing, that kind of test may be conducted to check the ability of a candidate to perform a specific task. Second type of test is aptitude test. This is a very important test, and it shows the ability of a candidate to learn the new skills. I remember a story where the candidate was asked many questions in the test. First question, he says, no sir, I don't know the answer. Second question, no sir, I don't know the answer. Can you do this? No sir, I cannot. So interviewer asked in a little kind of aggression, Why should I select you, hire you? He answered, because sir, I know how to learn. And that person was selected. So dear students, ability to learn the new skills is called aptitude test, and aptitude tests are conducted to check whether the candidate can learn new skills or not. If you have seen the pattern type of tests, like identify what will be the next pattern, or series type of tests are generally conducted to check the aptitude of a worker to learn the new skills. It is very much essential for the personal growth of the candidate also. So if he is able to learn the new skills, he can do progress in his career, as well as he will be suitable for the organization. Third type of test is interest test. Dear students, interest tests are conducted to know what kind of interest a person is having. Generally, you must have faced the interviews where your hobbies are asked. Hobbies are asked in test to know your interests or involvements. Because if you are not liking your job, you cannot do progress in your job. If you are loving your job, then you can do leaps and bound progresses. You must have seen, these are some examples. The upper one is Mr. Palash. He is Dr. Palash. So, in spite of being a successful doctor, he chosen the career to be a singer, and he was a successful singer also. Aare Meri Dhadkan Aare, you must have listened to that song, and his albums were very, very huge success. The lower one is Mr. Chetan Bhagat. He is the topper of IIT and IIM. He has written many books, 5 Point Someone, Two States, and many movies have been made on the stories based by Chetan Bhagat. In Three Idiots movie, you must have seen the character of Farhan. He wanted to be a wildlife photographer, but the society was having a pressure that he should do engineering. And finally, what he did is he chosen the career of wildlife photographer, and he became a very successful person. I have heard a story about a doctor also, who was not feeling well in his mental state. So he visited this psychiatrist. After his psychoanalysis, the doctor asked that what is the problem. He said, sir, I wanted to be a painter. If I would have a non-successful painter, I would have been happy. Sir, I am a doctor, I am a successful doctor, but I am not happy. So happiness is actually connected with your interest or involvement in your profession. So you should choose the career you are liking it. Whether you are having involvement or interest in the profession or not, we conduct to know that we conduct the interest test. Personality test. The word personality has been taken from the Greek word persona. In Greek, when the stage dramas were performed, so the artists used to wear a mask, face masks. So what kind of face mask is person or artist is carrying on his face? That kind of personality he is carrying on the stage. So we all have some kind of personality. Why this test is conducted? Everyone is having his reaction level, maturity level, or value systems, etc. So many professions require a special kind of personality. We have seen the movies like Jolly LLB, in which a person, he is fighting up to a great level for the justice. Or you can imagine a person having a kind of soft spoken skills, can be a good doctor. A doctor must have a kind of soft spoken skills. So these are the personalities or personality traits a person should carry, and every profession kind a specific kind of personality characters. So to see whether your personality is suitable for that job or not, we conduct personality tests. Intelligence test. This is another very important test intelligence test. First of all, ask a question from yourself: what is intelligence? Intelligence is practical application of theoretical knowledge in real life situations. Means what I have learned in theory, how promptly and accurately I apply that knowledge in my real life is called IQ or intelligence quotient. Dear student, situation reaction tests. In intelligence test, what we do is we judge the ability to take decisions and judgments of a person in a given situation. So IQ tests are conducted, situation reaction test or intelligence test. This is a very important test because it shows how prompt or how accurate a person is, what kind of decision making ability he is having. So these were the 5 types of tests. When a person clears this second level of tests, he is required to appear for the employment interview. So remember, this is the third step in selection process. Interview is a formal in-depth conversation conducted to evaluate the applicant's suitability for the job. The role of interviewer is to seek information and that of the interviewee is to provide the same. Though in present time the interviewee also seeks information from the interviewer. There are many things which cannot be assessed about a candidate through the tests. Although nowadays tests are very much wide, very much scientific, still many things are there which cannot be judged or assessed through the tests. So to judge or assess those concepts of the personality, those aspects of the personality of a candidate, we conduct employment interviews. One more very important purpose for conducting the employment interview is that the employee can ask if he is having any doubt about the organization, about his job, he can clarify then and there. So nowadays it has become a pattern that the interviewer generally asks the interviewee that if you want to ask anything, you can ask. So relevant questions must be asked by the candidate at the time of interview. Interview gives the interviewer an opportunity to judge the overall personality like sitting posture, confidence level, oratory skills of the candidate during the employment interview sessions. Those who clear this level also, they are coming to the next level, that is reference and background checking. Dear students, this is a very important aspect in the selection process. Many employers request names, addresses and telephone numbers of the reference for the purpose of verifying informations and gaining additional information on the applicant. Previous employers or the educational institutes or friends or relatives, such people are generally contacted after the person clears the interview. The purpose of reference and background checking is to see that the candidate is not having any criminal background or any kind of disturbing behavior which he can affect our present job or present organization also. So reference and background checking, especially when we want to see the reliability of a person, especially when the job is having kind of confidential nature, in army, in police, great level of reference and background checking is done so that the wrong kind of person are not introduced into the organization. So reference and background checking is another important step. Those who clear this step also, means a selection decision is done. Simply the selection decision means making a merit list, means the candidate has cleared all the steps. For example, there were 100 vacancies in the organization. Total 5,000 applicants applied for the job, and after doing all the steps of selection process, tests, interview, reference and background checking, everything, now we have 150 final candidates who have cleared all the levels. Now what to do? We have to select only 100 people. So a final merit list is prepared on the basis of their total marks achieved or secured in various tests. Out of that merit list, only the top 100 are called as selected. So this is called the selection decision, means making a final merit of top level candidate, how much candidates or the applicants are required in the organization. Medical examination, those who are finally selected, they are called for the medical examination. This medical examination is conducted to see whether the person is not having any kind of communicable diseases, or the person is medically fit for the job or not. This kind of medical examination has a very special importance in armed forces. Although these medical examinations are important for every organization, every types of organization, but still they have special importance in case of armed forces. You will be very happy to know that there are you will be astonished to know that there are some kind of rejections in armed forces, which are called PR and TR, permanent rejection and temporary rejection. So flat foot, अगर आपका पैर नीचे से फ्लैट है, उसमें इस तरह का ग्रिप नहीं है, इसका मतलब यू आर अनएबल टू रन प्रॉपर्ली and you will not be able to perform the training sessions. So such kind of flat foot people are called permanent rejection, means they cannot apply in army again, any armed forces again. Likewise flat foot or knock knees, अगर आपके खड़े होने पर सीधे घुटने अगर आपके मिलते हैं, so it is considered that you cannot run properly, and such rejections are called as permanent rejection. But there are some temporary rejections also. For example, the candidate is underweight or overweight, so the candidates are given a chance to remove that shortcoming, and they can appear for medical examinations again and they will be selected. Also, the purpose of medical examination is that the person is not having any kind of communicable disease which can be spread in the organization and affect other also. So after medical examination, the job is offered to the candidate, means a letter is sent to the candidate that you have been selected, to ask for his confirmation to join the job. Why it is sent? Many purposes are there. The very important purpose is that the person may have must be working somewhere, and he'll have to give a notice to leave the job to his previous employer. Number one. Number two, the person must be may be having offers from more than one organization, where he would like to choose which organization to join. So to get the confirmation from the candidate that he want to join the offer or not, he want to join the organization or not, a job offer is sent to his or her email or by through post, etc. So when the person accepts the offer, only then we go for next step. Otherwise, the next candidate is called from the merit list. Generally, these job offers are given for a specific time period. I mean, within that time period you have to join. And those who accept the offer, the organization, the department signs a contract of employment with the person. The contract of employment is a kind of contract having all the terms and conditions of the job, which employer and employee both have to follow, or they are binding upon both employee and employers. So what are the general contents of the contract of employment? It is about salary, working, the nature of work, and the types of leaves he can avail, or retirement benefits, and what kind of rights he is having, what kind of duties he has to perform. So here is a sample of employment contract or service agreement. You can see it talks about the contract period, travel expense, accommodation, working hours, overtime, leave benefits, medical benefits, transportation, and retirement benefits, basic salary. And generally on these contracts of employments, the employer and employee signs, and other than that two witnesses, 2 or 4 witnesses as per the nature of organization are have to sign so that the contract becomes valid. So this was the total process of selection. Let us have a quick recall. First of all, primary screening is done. After that, selection tests are conducted, having 5 types of tests: intelligence test, aptitude test, trait test, personality test, and interest test. Those who clear the selection test also, they have to appear for the interview. After that, reference and background checkings are done. A selection decision is made. After that, medical examinations are done. Then the job is offered, and those who accept the job, they have to sign a contract employment also. Dear students, after selection, another very important aspect of the staffing process is training and development. Training is an important aspect to make the person, the candidate selected, suitable for the organization, suitable to perform specific nature of tasks. So training is a process by which the aptitudes, skills and abilities of employees to perform specific job. I would like to add here not only specific job but specific job in specific format, specific manner are increased. It is a process of learning new skills and application of knowledge. It attempts to improve the performance of the employees for the current job or prepare them for any intended job. Training and development is very important for the organization, and actually it is said that expense on training is not a waste, rather it is an investment, because it will yield returns to the organization. So remember, the question may be in form of a statement form of question, like expense done on training is a waste, do you agree? So what you have to write? You have to write no, expense on training is not a waste, and then you will write the benefits of training from the employees as well as from the organization point of view. So let us discuss what are the benefits of training. Number 1, training improves the skills and knowledge of the employees so that the employee can perform a specific task in a better manner and he can have the opportunities of career advancement also. It increases the performance of employee, help him to earn more. When he performs his task in a better way, obviously his output will be more and he will have a chance to have overtime and bonuses and other benefits offered from the organization. Training makes the employees more efficient to handle machines and he will be less prone to accident. It will ensure the safety of the worker as well as the hazardous machines. Training increases the satisfaction and morale of the employees. When a person is able to perform his task in an efficient manner, he is able to earn more, he must be feeling happy, and it will not only increase the morale or happiness level of the workers, it will also increase the industrial peace. There will be less conflict between organization and the employees. Now let us discuss the benefits of training from organization point of view. Training is a systematic learning, always better than hit and trial methods which lead to wastage of efforts and money. If we put the worker directly on the task, he may commit some mistakes, although he will learn in a long time, but if we train him and then send to the job, obviously he will be performing the task in a better way and it will lead to less wastage of efforts and money. It will increase the efficiency as well as effectiveness of the organization. It enhances the employee's productivity both in terms of quantity and quality, leading to higher profits for the organization. Training equips the future managers who can take over in case of emergency. If we train the workers, he can assist the coming new workers in case of emergencies when the supervisors are not there or supervisors are overburdened. Training increases the employee's morale, reduces absenteeism and employee turnover. Employee turnover are not at all considered good for any kind of organization. So generally when a person is happy in the organization, he is able to perform his all the tasks, why he will absent from the job? Rather he will happily come to the organization and will try to perform more and more so that he can earn more. It will not only give benefit to the worker, and it will also be beneficial for the organization. Finally, it helps in obtaining effective response to fast changing environment, technological and economic. Whenever there is introduction of a new machinery or heavy changes in the infrastructure, or the advancement of the machinery is done, in that case training helps a lot by adopting the new methods or adaptation to the new machinery by training. Difference between training and development. Dear student, this question will be asked in 4 marks. This will be a direct question. So training is act of imparting knowledge and skills for performing a particular job. You will have to focus on particular job. Training किसी खास काम को खास तरीके से करने के लिए जो हम ट्रेनिंग देते हैं, जो skills ऐड करते हैं, that is called training. So you have to remember, of a specific task, specific manner is called training. But development is a process of overall growth of employees for the future management task of increasing difficulty and scope. Then training is job oriented, while development is life oriented, it is career oriented. Training focuses to improve work efficiency, rather development focuses on development of the personality of employees, that he can apply to the higher levels in the organization. Training gives importance to organization goals. ट्रेनिंग में ऑर्गेनाइजेशन ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है और ट्रेनी पर्सनल ग्रोथ उसकी कम इंपॉर्टेंट है, क्योंकि यहाँ फोकस ये है कि द वर्कर इज एबल टू perform the organizational task in a efficient manner or not, so that the efficiency and effectiveness of the organization is increased. But development gives importance to the organizational as well as individual goals. Here the focus is shifted from organization to the employee. And last but not the least point in the difference, it will be in training, role of trainer is more important and role of trainee is less important. But in development, the role of learner is more important, that how, up to what extent he wants to add his efficiency level. So this question will be asked directly in 4 marks. Very important question. Coming to the training method, this is another question which can be asked directly or indirectly, means in form of case study also this question can be asked. Training methods. So before we discuss the 4 training methods which are included in our syllabus, let us have a look what kind of trainings are there. The training may be on the job and off the job. Dear students, on the job training methods are those methods which are applied to the workplace when the employee is actually working. Employee learns while working, means he is put on the actual workplace and he learns his task then and there on the actual workplace. Like for example in the banks. In the bank, the trainee, the newly recruited employee is directly put on the table, on the desk. He is doing his daily task and he is learning. Generally, job rotation methods are adopted in the clerical job. Means for 15 days you will be doing work on this desk, then you will be shifted to another desk and he becomes expert of doing all the tasks. Off the job methods, the workers are trained keeping them segregated or in isolation from the actual workplace. How I perceive these 2 methods is, when the actual task work done by the trainee is included in organization's output, then it is a on the job method. जो वर्कर प्रोड्यूस कर रहा है ट्रेनिंग के दौरान, अगर वो फर्म के प्रोडक्शन में इंक्लूडेड है, then it is on the job method. And if the output given by the employee is not included in firm's production during the training, then it is obviously off the job methods. So you'll have to remember on the job methods and off the job methods. Dear students, in our syllabus for 2020-21, CBSE has included only 4 methods. So one is apprenticeship method, second is internship, third is induction, and fourth is vestibule. I repeat them: apprenticeship, internship, and induction. All these three are the on the job methods. So remember, all these are the on the job methods. And then off the job method, it includes vestibule. वहीं रख दो हाँ वहीं बाहर. So I'm sorry for the disturbance. So dear students, let us discuss all the 4 methods of training one by one. Apprenticeship programs, internship, induction, and vestibule. Apprenticeship programs, this training method is generally applied to the trade. For example, plumber, electrician, or motor mechanics. So in this training method, the trainee is kept under the expert trainer till he becomes the expert. Remember, in this method, the trainee is kept under the expert trainer till he becomes the expert of his trade. So generally, the plumbers, electrician, iron workers, or motor mechanics, they are provided or imparted training using this method. इसमें करके सीखने पे बहुत जोर है. इसमें सारा फोकस इस बात पे है कि जो ट्रेनी है वो अपने एक्सपर्ट को देख के, ऑब्जर्व करके और बीच बीच में क्वेश्चंस पूछ करके कि सर ये क्या हो रहा है, उसको देख करके सीखता है. सो प्रैक्टिकल ट्रेनिंग इज देयर. सो जनरली ऑल द ट्रेड्स आर फॉर द ट्रेनिंग फॉर द ट्रेड्स आर done through this method. Remember, this training is given to plumbers, electrician, iron workers, motor mechanics, etc. Second training method is internship. The key word for identifying this method is theory plus practical together. Theory plus practical together. Remember. So it is a joint program of training in which educational institutes and the business firms cooperate, select candidate, carry on regular studies for the prescribed period. They also work in some factory or office to acquire practical knowledge and skills also. So other than theory, the candidates or trainees are put under real life situations where they learn the real life situations also, how to apply. So all the chartered accountants or the management trainees, they are imparted training through this method. In engineering also, the candidates or students or trainees are required to work in some real life situations in some companies for a specific time period. Then only they are given the degree. Third, induction. Induction is very important training method, and induction provides an opportunity for the employee as well as employer to be familiar with each other. It gives a healthy environment in which the organization and the candidate, they come to know about each other in a very harmonic environment. So generally the induction training are conducted to create a positive atmosphere, address any new job concerns, to increase the comfort level and feeling of belongingness, increase knowledge of the organization procedure and policies, to share the organizational values with the trainees, and to share any job specific information. We, the teachers of Kendriya Vidyalayas, are also put under the induction training method for near about 21 days. So it is a method of welcoming the new member in the team or organization. All these 3 methods were on the job method. I am repeating again: apprenticeship, internship, and induction. All these are the on the job methods, means the worker is actually working in the organization and learning. Now coming to a very technical, I will call it technical method of training, vestibule training. I am giving a special focus on this training method because a separate question for 1 mark may be asked for you in your exam. जब कोई बहुत हैवी, बहुत ही सोफिस्टिकेटेड और कॉम्प्लिकेटेड मशीन हो या बहुत ही महंगी डिवाइस हो, तो वर्कर को हम सीधा उस मशीन के ऊपर नहीं बिठा सकते. इससे न केवल फाइनेंशियल लॉस होगा बल्कि ह्यूमन कैजुअलिटीज भी हो सकती हैं और एक्सीडेंट्स भी हो सकते हैं. So in that case, what we do is we use the simulators. The Maruti driving school, if you have visited or if you have not visited, you should go to the showroom of Maruti and do some project work on it. So in Maruti driving school, they have a simulator kind of machine. That is not actual car, but if you sit on that and use the screens and steering etc., you will feel that you are driving a car. It is just like a video game. You are watching your screen and all the responses of the machine are just like actual car. So first of all, the trainees are made comfortable on that machine. When they acquire basic skills to handle that machine, then they are put on the actual machine or actual device. So vestibule method, employees learn their jobs on the equipment that they will be using, but the training is conducted away from the actual work floor. Actual work environments are created in a classroom or employee use the same material, files or equipment, and this is usually done when the employees are required to handle a sophisticated, costly machine or equipments. So this was the vestibule method, dear students. अगर आप लोगों ने मूवी देखी है आँखें, जिसके अंदर अमिताभ बच्चन और अक्षय कुमार, परेश रावल ये लोग हैं, तो they are having a task. I will not discuss about that task, and they are maintaining the same structure of that work place at their home. They all are practicing there and then actually they are performing the task in real. So vestibule training method is a method of the job training method. The workers are kept in isolation from the actual workforce. I hope you enjoyed the session. Let us have a discussion on what kind of questions may be asked in this chapter or in this unit. So first of all, have a look on the short type answers. Enumerate the important sources of the recruitment. So we all know there are two types of sources, internal as well as external. So we can have we would have to write the names of these resources only. No need to explain them because it is a short answer type question. Then what is meant by recruitment and how it is different from selection. Recruitment का definition यहाँ लिखेंगे. Recruitment is the process of identifying the prospective source of employees and to motivate them for the task or the job. How it is different from selection. Recruitment is a positive process, selection is a negative process. Then define training and how it is different from education. Training is imparting skills for doing a specific task in a specific manner. How it is different from education. Training is limited, it is for a specific task only. Education is not only for life but increasing the level of information or knowledge is called education. Education में जितना हमें मिला है, we are supposed to increase it and pass it on to the coming generations or others. Distinguish between training and development. So training is trainer oriented, development is trainee oriented. Training is from the employee, the organization point of view, and development is from the learner or employee's point of view. Training is narrower and development is a wider concept. Why internal sources of recruitment considered to be more economical? Because इसमें हमें कोई advertisement करने की ज़रूरत नहीं होती और lengthy selection process और recruitment processes को follow नहीं करना होता है, and हमें within organization जो हमारे employees हैं उन्हीं में से हम लोग choose कर सकते हैं. And moreover we need not to impart the training to the workers who have been selected through internal source because they are already familiar with the work culture. What is the importance of staffing function in today's environment? Staffing is very important because it adds the human resource to the organization. It is the process of manning the organization. It is the process of filling the organization and keeping it fit. Nowadays, human beings are not only considered as labor, rather they are the resource, human resource. Then some long answer type questions. Define the staffing process and various steps involved in it. So what I recommend is, please watch the videos, go through the NCERT books and write down this the answer for this question in at least about 2 to 3 pages including diagram. Already we have discussed all the steps involved in staffing process in detail, so you will be learning it better when you write it. Explain the procedure of selection of employees. In today's video we have done it. Selection में सबसे पहले हम लोग प्राइमरी स्क्रीनिंग करते हैं, देन सिलेक्शन टेस्ट करते हैं, आफ्टर दैट एम्प्लॉय इंटरव्यूज आर देयर, देन रेफरेंस एंड बैकग्राउंड चेकिंग, मेडिकल चेकअप्स. सो ऑल दी स्टेप्स इन द प्रोसेस you have to write. What are the advantages of training to the individual and to organization? We have already discussed. So try to write the answer in at least 2 pages including diagrams. The staffing function is performed by every manager and not necessarily by a separate department. Explain. So here you have to write an essay kind of thing between staffing as a part of human resource management. Okay, so this discussion we have already done in previous video. Watch the video, see the books, read the books and write the answers. Some hot question, case studies based question. The workers of a factory are unable to work on the new machines launched and always they are demanding the help of a supervisor. The supervisor is therefore overburdened with their frequent calls. Suggest the remedy. What can be done? Dear students, try to give the answer. Yes, we can give the training to our workers so that they are able to perform or work on the new machines in an efficient manner. Then they will not be calling the supervisor frequently. Only when some exceptional problems are there, they will call their supervisor. Otherwise, they will be able to handle the complications by themselves. The workers of a factory remain idle because of lack of knowledge of the high-tech machines and frequent visit of the engineers maid, which causes high overhead charges. How can this problem be removed? Answer is once again training. Yes, true. So training can be given to the workers and they will be able to handle the high-tech machines by themselves. Will not be in requirement to call the engineers. The quality of production is not as per standards. On investigation, it was observed that most of the workers are not fully aware of the proper operation of the machine. What could be the way to improve the accuracy? Yes, exactly. The answer is training. So very well done, students. I hope you enjoyed the video. Now we have completed up to staffing. In upcoming videos of the RO, we will be discussing about the directing and its components. Till then, stay safe, stay inside, stay happy. Thank you very much.